call our July 19, 2022 Land and Facilities Management Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blazon.
Here.
Mr. Bernard.
Here.
Ms. Bourgeois.
Here.
Mr. Boonery.
Here.
Mr. Pond.
Here.
Mr. Swift.
Here.
Ms. Thomas. No, four.
Two. We have a report from Grove Flores Positary Design and Mr. Andy Positary here. 8. To receive a report on the new Thibodeau Middle School project. Mr. Positary.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
For tonight is for the new Thibodeau Middle School. Contractor, of course, is Thompson Construction Company. The original contract, some $28,464,000 is still that same amount. We haven't had any changes that affect that number yet. The current contract time, we're roughly 36% of the way through the contract time. The contract time currently is running through May 29th of 2024. And then just the critical or pertinent project issues, rather. Of course, the building slab has been completely poured. There's one little area that's going to serve as a platform that's not poured yet. But all of the structural steel for the areas, with the exception of the gymnasium, are up. The steel that's going to form the gymnasium is in the process of being erected. We do have some metal studs and exterior gypsum sheathing that's starting to go around the front. If you've ridden by there lately, that's that purple board that you see on the outside. So that's an exterior grade gypsum sheathing. And of course, they're also doing a lot of rough-ins on the HVAC equipment, electrical conduit, sprinkler lines, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff happening. Concrete block walls are also starting to go up. So far, everything is on schedule and proceeding as expected.
Anyone have any questions on the report? Now we'll move to D. D, to consider a change order request for additional days due to inclement weather and take appropriate action. Depositary.
Thank you again. Again, as we do every month, the contractor submits his request for rain days, and we're starting to get into these wet months now. So we do have a request to cover June for a net increase of 11 additional days due to rain and mud at the site for the month of June. They actually documented, I believe, 17 days. Again, your contract provisions, the supplemental conditions of the contract allow for 6 days for the month of June. So the net increase of 11 days is what we are recommending for approval.
I have a motion by Mr. Randy Schwett, second by Ms. Bourgeois. Is there any public comment? Is there any board comment?
The only comment I want to make is in the future, when we look at these contracts, because I understand what the gentleman's saying, and we went through this at nauseum last time, when they had all kind of extra days when there was no rain, because they had like this much rain so they could get an extra day. I think we need to relook at our contracts in the future. I just think we ought to look at that.
Anyone else? Personally, I'll say that actually surprised it's only 11.
This time.
This time.
This time. Not last time. This time.
It rained quite a bit last month, so. All right. Anyone else? All right. Now we'll go ahead and vote. Motion carries unanimously. C, to receive a report on HVAC upgrades at the BCA school as it relates to the construction of the new Thibodeau Middle School.
All right, thank you again. This project is also being completed by Thompson Construction Company. Contract sum of $1,637,500 is still that number is unchanged as of now. We've paid roughly 53% of the contract amount to them for work completed to date, and about 64% of the time has elapsed. The contract time is set to expire right now on August 14th. They are working diligently to get all of this done in time for when the students come back primarily in the classroom wings. And so all of the equipment that's in the classroom wings and those corridors that affect student learning are going to be completed. We do have a fire marshal inspection, I believe, is set up for July 28th. So we are getting toward the end of that. They may have a little bit of cafeteria work that might be remaining, but we do have some provisions to, as a contingency in place for that, to keep some temporary AC in there in case that does happen. But they are focusing on getting out of the classrooms right now and are on track to do that before the kids get back to school.
Anyone have any questions about the report from the depository? Yep. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Move on to 3. Holloway Cortez, we have Mr. David Gobert here. 8, to receive a report on the security upgrades phase 6 project.
Good evening. This is just for informational purposes. The project's moving forward. As of last week, when we submitted the status reports, Bayou Blue Middle School, their demolition is about 90% complete. They've stud framed all of the walls in the reception area, which is about 80% complete. They're framing the new reception desk, and the end walls is about 90% complete of that. Plus, they've done the plywood sheathing on those and are preparing the casework that will create the reception desk. The conduit for the electrical in the walls is being installed, and the fences and gate posts have all been installed, and they were beginning to pour concrete at the base of the fencing for y'all mow guard, keeps them from hitting the fence with the lawnmowers. At 6th Ward, the demolition is 90% complete. The steel stud framing for the new public lobby is 70% complete. The fence and gate posts have been set. The contractor is routing conduits for electrical, data, and the new reception desk location in preparation for the casework at the reception desk. The window rough-in has been cut, and the existing brickwork for installation of secure receptionist transaction window. And then at LaRose Cutoff Middle School, the demolition is only about 20% complete. There was some termite damage that was found when they began to demo the exterior wall. It was their original thought was that it was much worse than it actually ended up being. It was limited mostly to just some blocking and some minor pieces of support framing. So they were able to remove that and replace it. It did not get into the structural. So we were fortunate there. But of course, Evan is aware of it, and I'm sure they'll be verifying if we have any expansion on that. That's kind of where we are at this point.
Anybody have any questions on the report? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Aspinall, Goodwin, Udley, engineers. We have Mr. Cortez here. 8, to receive report on the ADA modifications to restrooms at the 3 high school stadiums.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be giving Robert's reports as well this evening. On the ADA modifications project, construction is ongoing. Contractor indicated that the doors were delayed until August. So the permanent doors will not be installed on time, but the contractor is working on installing temporary doors in order for them to have the ADA restrooms available for the first game of the season.
Anyone have any questions?
Where is he looking for the temporary doors?
He's going to see what he has in stock and see what he can find available. It could potentially be a change order if he doesn't have what he has in stock. He can't find what he needs in his own stock, but we're going to have to see what he can come up with. We're still waiting on a proposal from him.
What else? We'll move to D, to receive report on the condition outside air increase project at Thibodeau Elementary School. Cortez?
an outside air project. So the contractor's waiting on equipment. They're having some delays. So once units begin to arrive, they'll start installing, but they are waiting for a ship date confirmation from their supplier as of now.
Anyone have any questions? Or D? Okay. Move on to C. To receive report on the third chiller replacement project at South Lafourche High School.
Chiller at South Lafourche. The contractor, again, waiting on equipment. The chiller was delayed. It's currently scheduled to ship on October 2nd. The new chiller will not be installed before the start of school. But as Robert mentioned in previous meetings, the existing chillers are capable of cooling the school.
Anyone have any questions on C? We'll move on to D. To receive a report on the generator connection point to be installed at Thibodeau High School.
Generator connection point project. The contractor is currently in the process of ordering. They're indicating that the longest lead item has a lead time of 60 weeks. So we are anticipating having to extend the construction time on this project because of materials. Once the contractor has all his materials ordered, we'll go ahead and pause the project and we'll wait for all his materials to come in, and then we'll resume. He can begin construction once he has what he needs.
Anyone have any questions on D? None? Thank you, Mr. Cortez.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. 5, also, we have Mr. Bob Miller here. A, to receive report from All South on Hurricane Ida damage. Miller.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
All right, so again, for in the interest of time, quite lengthy on this report. Permanent repairs under construction, we have them listed out. Each week or each month we come to you, that list is growing, right? So that continues to happen. Also listed are bids that we have upcoming, the major projects. So we do this different ways. I can talk about each of the major projects just briefly, and then let you guys come back with questions. That's okay. All right, so major projects under construction right now, we all know about South Lafourche. A couple of things that came to us from the superintendent that they needed urgently was special needs and the dryer hookups in the field house. That's being worked on. A dryer should be completed this week. The gas line, they're running a temporary gas line to get the dryer working for the field house. And then more importantly, special needs suite is scheduled for completion August 1st. So that was an area that was slated to be done later. We got it done now, got the interiors done, so those students can be able to use that space. We know about the deck, that the problem we ran into with the competition gym deck. So that set back that gym about 3 months. Emphasis now is on the auxiliary gym to get that roof repaired and get that gym put in place. And currently that schedule for that gym is completed by November 1st. Current schedule is for November 1st. So at least they'll have the practice gym to use at that time. Any questions on South Lafourche? Okay. Go to middle. Anticipated construction is scheduled for fall of 2022. So those contract documents in the works right now. They should be hitting around September for bid, and then hopefully be put out for construction sometime in early fall. Bayou Blue Elementary. Evan's going to speak on this one, but demo package received today, and then Building 7 and the rest of the campus scheduled for bids August 8th, with the anticipated completion for school of next year. Have that building done. Bayou Buff Elementary, nothing new from the last time we spoke. We did get assessments from the designer to do some mitigation. talked about that. Upgrades to the roof, windows, a few other things, make that campus a little bit better than what it is right now. Waiting on FEMA's review of that, shouldn't hold anything up. That project also is scheduled to go out sometime in the fall of this year. Graceland Upper, pretty much the same thing. We have the report from the designer. We're going to present that to FEMA. We talked about this mitigation for that particular campus, old campus. We know about that. It's a 3-story pink building. We did find a few things. Structural engineer went and looked at it. Some rotted floor joists that will have to be addressed. Not FEMA eligible, but the good news is, from what he's saying, is that the building is structurally sound. So nothing major to report on that, other than we do have some rotted joist issues that will have to be addressed. Same thing with design, development, putting out for bid. Again, if mitigation gets approved, sometimes in early fall, this project will go out. All right, and St. Charles Elementary, I guess, Evan, y'all, I don't know if you want to speak on that one, but that's kind of FEMA, but not. It's a combination of a brick and mortar campus that we're looking at doing with single point entry.
On St. Charles Elementary School, like Robert indicated, it's going to be half and half. Some FEMA work and one point of entry and reconstructing the back buildings. We're basically looking at removing the existing portable buildings and reconstructing them in a brick and mortar concept. Right now, St. Charles Elementary does not have any room to move around, so we cannot take one classroom out, put it in another space. They just don't have it. So at current, we're going to end up having to put a 6-classroom modular building in the back as a temporary facility, do some major renovation work on the main building itself, relocate the principal to another location, take that classroom, move it into the portable, and take out all the portables that we're going to be removing in that bathroom assembly and start building a new brick and mortar building. I know I said a lot in a little bit, but that's going to probably be about a 3-year project all in all.
Okay.
I guess just one question. If some of it is FEMA eligible, how do we pay for the rest?
Martin?
Yeah, so it's going to be 3 funding sources for this project. So you'll get 2 funding sources initially, hopefully reimbursed by some, right? But the FEMA part of this is going to be the smallest part of it. Most of what we're doing is not FEMA related. We're going to get some FEMA related reimbursements because of the damage to the portables, but what we're largely doing is a single point of entry project that removes the portable buildings from the campus. So most of it's going to come from land and facilities construction bond money. The undedicated balance that will be briefed by Shasta at the end of this that hasn't been dedicated to the middle school. The other funding source is going to be safety money. I believe that we have in the safety budget fund balance approaching $4 million currently. We're going to use some of that money to fund this project because that's really what we're doing for St. Charles. It's a single point of entry, and at the same time getting rid of those antiquated portables. So some of this is hurricane, some of this is single point of entry, and some of it is just upgrading a very old building and make it viable for the next 40 years.
Okay. And then finally, I think a week ago, the superintendent came to us and requested that designers start meeting with the principals more frequently. They went out there, did their initial assessments. That's been months ago. So I think there's a lot of questions about, where's my school? When is it going to, when the repair is going to happen, et cetera. So we requested strongly that they get out there by August 1st, meet with each of the principals and give them an update on where things are. We have a 5-page schedule, master schedule we put together. I'm sorry it's not in your packet. We just completed this today, but we'll get copies out to you. And basically it's broken down by designer, by campus. So you can, we'll have a cover sheet to show which campus falls under which designer, but at least you can go to that and see right now schedule where things are falling out. Living document, just keep that in mind, right? We didn't put this out any earlier because it's throwing darts, right? We want to be realistic. So this is more realistic, but it does change. So as it changes, we'll keep it updated. Okay. Any questions?
No, just a positive comment. I really appreciate you meeting with those concerned administrators, especially on the timelines for completion of construction at their site. One did call me and say you personally was at their particular site, sat down with them and they explained the situation, and they were very appreciative of it. So whatever it takes, keep doing that, because they definitely are concerned, and I think you did a lot to ease their concerns and give them a more valid timeline as to when their sites will be completed. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? I'd just like to say that it's a fluid document, and it's gonna change. Even some of the bid openings are not the day that they're gonna be open. Some of the, scheduling is not exactly the way it's supposed to be, because some things are just out of their control. Whether it's the engineering side, architect side, FEMA side, getting approval to do it. There's a lot of things that are not said, but are part of the package. And that's why some of these days get backed up even a month or two. So keep that in mind. It is a fluid document. So thank you, Mr. Bernard. Anyone else? Nope. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. 6, new business. Receive a report. Plays on some bids received for Hurricane Ida building number 7 demolition project at Bayou Blue Elementary School and take appropriate action. Please.
As Mr. President indicated, we opened bids up this afternoon for building 7 demolition. We actually had 3 bidders. We had LLJ, we had Pro Floor, and I don't have it in my packet, and then Cotton USA. So the recommended action would be to accept the low bid in the amount of $149,500 from LLJ Environmental for the Hurricane Ida Building 7 demolition project at Bayou Blue Elementary School.
A motion by Mr. Swess, second by Mr. Lafourche. Is there any public comments? Is there any board comments?
Yes, ma'am.
I think I'll say it again just to make sure. Building number 7 is tough. It's a tough spot. So, with all of that, we're pushing to get the approval to get through the other piece of property.
That is correct. Okay. We have been working on that with Mr. Amedee's office and the landowner.
Is everybody aware of what we're talking about? Okay. It's a really tough spot. So, all right. Anyone else? All right. Now we'll go ahead and vote.
I just
So you want to just tell her your vote?
yay,
She'll get it from you. Bring it back up.
Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Lafourche. QB.
It happens to me a lot.
To consider a change order request to install a temporary gas line to feed closed drives located in the field house at South Lafourche High School. The amount of $4,638.55 to take appropriate action.
Okay, all right. A while ago, y'all heard Mr. Bernard talk about the closed dryers and the gas line, temporary gas line. That is almost complete at South Lafourche High School. Well, in order to get the dryer up and running for the beginning of school, we had to do a little whatever. So the contractor gave us a change order to go ahead and install a temporary gas line of $4,638.55. So at this point, the recommended action would be to approve a change order request to install a temporary gas line, feed closed dryers located in the field house at Lafourche High School in the amount of $4,638.55 and take appropriate action.
Motion by Mr. Swift, seconded by Mr. Booty. Is there any public comment? Is there any board comment? I have one. Is this temporary permanent?
Temporary. Temporary, yeah, the line will be removed and reinstalled in the permanent location when the time comes.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else? If not, we'll go ahead and vote. Motion carries unanimous. C, consider a change order request to install a signature line on the basketball line to read Coach Kyle Felt Court in the new gym floor at Lafourche Cutoff Middle School.
Okay, as y'all remember at the last meeting, Mr. Delkin presented a request for the renaming of the gym floor at the school. Under the original contract documents, we didn't have a name or a title block in that court area. The school has been in dialogue with the contractor and the graphics designer that does the gym floor. And they basically gave them a price of $514 to put this signature line on this court. The school has agreed to make payment for this because, I mean, they requested it. So at this point in time, the recommended action will be to approve a change order request to install a signature line on the basketball line to read Coach Kyle Felt Court on the gym floor at Lafourche Middle School in the amount of $514 as approved by the full board on July 6, 2022.
Motion by Mr. Benoit, seconded by Mr. Lafourche. Any public comment? Is there any board comment? If not, we go and vote. Motion carries unanimous. All right. E, to receive a report from Mr. Lafourche, our business manager, with reference to ongoing project budgets. Mr. Lafourche.
Yes, good evening. Tonight I have two reports for you. The first being from the 2017 construction bond funding source. We paid out a total of $58,135 in invoices during the month. $34,100 of that is for work on the restrooms and the ADA compliance restrooms at the three stadiums. And then $24,035 was for the Thibodeau Middle School project. Currently, in the 2017 construction bond, we have undedicated funds of $1.5 million. And then for the 2021 construction bond, we paid out $1.4 million during the month, $136,639 for the renovations going on at Golden Meadow Lower, and then $1.2 million plus for the Thibodeau Middle School project. And currently in that 2021 construction bond, we have $9.7 million dedicated.
Have any questions for Ms. Ortiz? Hearing none?
Just make a little announcement.
Go ahead.
Maybe in the audience, since we're talking about schools, just wanted to announce that Bible Middle School took first place at dance camp at Nichols this week, and Lockport Middle took third place, and it was Lockport Middle's first time at dance camp, and they took third place. So thank you to the coaches and students for doing such a hard job, and they did wonderful. Thank you.
If there's no other items, our meeting is adjourned.